If you were looking for a super up-close look at Rory McIlroy's golf clubs, then you've stumbled upon the perfect YouTube video. Welcome back to Torrey Pines for the second time this season. The first time around was the Farmers Insurance just a few weeks ago. This week, it's the 2025 Genesis Invitational, which has been relocated from Riviera Country Club in Los Angeles. For GolfWRX, we're busy diving into the golf bags of the pros to figure out what clubs they're using and why. How's the weather this week, Greg?
6 layers of clothes on fire. The only thing that affects my performance is you bugging me.
Okay. Bye, Greg. Torrey Pines is notorious for its thick rough, and this week, world number 1 Scottie Scheffler is testing out a TaylorMade QI35 7-wood ahead of the event. We caught up with TaylorMade Tour rep Adrian Rietveld for the lowdown. Adrian, we heard a little something about Scottie Scheffler testing out a 7-wood.
Yeah.
What have you been seeing with him in the 7?
So he came in on Tuesday. No, actually came in Monday afternoon, didn't he? Paul's Monday. Just came in to have a look at a few drivers and stuff with us, and asked if we can build him up some 5-woods. Teddy had recommended to him that with the rough this week and what guys were doing during Torrey Pines, Farmers Insurance, the rough's pretty thick, and a 5-wood would probably be a better club than his 3-iron to get it out the rough. It's non par 3s. He wanted it to go 245. So for him, like 5-wood's not 245. A 5-wood's going to go 255, 260. So I suggested we do it in like a 7-wood, or like a strong 7-wood. So we built up the Tour and the core offerings in our QI35. Tested him Tuesday, about midday-ish, and then we just hit the course with him. And he's using it way more than I thought. Not even, obviously out the rough. On 12 he hit the shot where he advanced it like 180 out the rough. He hit a 4-iron from the same spot afterwards, couldn't get it 50 yards. So he's getting the launch out of it, and then you look at like 11 par 3. He's hitting it in all these holes, and it literally is. It's 1975 in loft, so it's a little bit of a strong 7-wood, but yeah, it's literally 245 on the number. His 3-wood goes like 270, fills a nice gap. He's pretty comfortable with it, both rough and off the fairway, and par 3s, I guess. Yeah.
What's he doing with the shaft, and how long is that playing?
So pretty much clean spec, right? So he plays a 7x in his driver, Ventus Black 7x tipped 1 inch. Then you move into his 3-wood, which is an 8x tipped 1.5 inches, and then in the 7-wood is a 9x tipped 2 inches. So nice, clean. All the lie angles, everything's pretty clean. He's 42.5 in the 3-wood. So we went 41.5. So it took an inch off, inch shorter. And I think that, when things work that quickly and the spec is so clean, it's a really good fit that someone can, can put it straight in the bag, but with some really good testing that doesn't have any hiccups along the way. Really, the only kind of decision he was trying to make was between the tour head and the core head, and that took literally 4 or 5 shots with the one head versus 4 or 5 with the other one. We had made one tweak to it where we added a little bit of loft to the core head, 1/4 of a degree, just to take. He literally wanted 2 yards off it. Good spins about 4,100, 4,200. Nice healthy spin at launches. Good 11 degrees. So you can imagine the height that it gets on this for it to go 245.
No, we've seen a lot of 7-woods, even 9-woods.
Yeah.
Over the last couple of years. Did you ever think Scottie Scheffler would be using and trying out a 7?
No. We nearly got there last year. Actually, there was a time in the year we were kind of considering it just as a replacement for the 3-iron. He'd play with a bunch of players where he's using his 3-iron and he can hit it high. But you watching him actually purposely try and hit it high, and then he executes the shot. And then you watch somebody with a 7-wood or a 9-wood that just put in their normal golf swing on the ball. The ball just basically starts at such a higher window without any effort. And I think, yeah, the modern technology and, you know, our fairway woods have been very, very popular out there across the board. And you know, when you talk about, we've got from a mini driver to 3-wood, 4-wood, 5-wood, 6-wood, 7-wood, 9-wood. You know, it's a nice stretch. So if you're trying to hit a certain yardage or cover a certain gap, definitely have the product to just kind of plug and play.
Last question. When he's ripping at that 7-wood, what's his peak height?
Peak height, it's about 128 feet. Yeah, it's high, man. So you know, you're looking at his 3 irons probably 110.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so it's a good 20 feet higher. But again, it's the initial launch of the ball. You know, this rough is so moist, so thick that like what happened on 12 yesterday in the practice round, and just trying to kind of come to terms with like the performance of the club. He was like, there was no ways he felt like he could advance that ball 180 yards down the fairway and have an opportunity to make par. Whereas with an iron, I mean, the launch angle is so much lower, and there's so much more friction between the ball and getting out of the rough. You know, it's a very, very risky golf shot. I mean, it's like today in the pro-am, I walked 18 holes with him too. I mean, he used it 6-7 times in 18 holes.
Unbelievable.
I mean, it was all, you know, it wasn't just get out of trouble. It was kind of be more aggressive, and, you know, into 18, you know, you think you've got to carry that water. That pin's going to be right at the front, and really get some good land angle and you know, flight into that, and the consistency of it, right? You know, we call it with Tommy and his 9-wood, we call it a 235-yard pitching wedge because of the dispersion is so tight. Great. The product's doing great, and, you know, he's happy with it.
In more high-lofted fairway news, we caught up with Sahith Theegala, who has a Ping G440 9-wood in the bag.
Yeah, it's an interesting club. I put it in play. I put the 9-wood in play a few years ago, I feel like now. I used it at Farmers here a few weeks ago. It's just such a great club out of the rough. No effort out of the rough. I mean, a lie that I usually can't hit more than a 8-iron out of, 9-iron out of. I can hit 9-wood better than that 8 or 9-iron out of that rough. So it's a crazy club. I don't recommend it really off the tee box or even off the fairway that much. I think it's a little harder to control. It's easy to get it up. I think a higher loft, like a 6 or 5 hybrid, is probably better for amateur golfers. But it's a super fun club to have, kind of show off. You know, 24, 25 degrees of loft on a wood.
I recently watched you in a YouTube video. I forget who it was with.
Yeah.
But what's it like being part of like the YouTube golf versus playing on the PGA Tour? Like, is there any nerves there?
Yeah. It's less nervous, I think, doing YouTube golf. It's a lot more. I shouldn't say a lot more fun, but more fun, less pressure. You can kind of hit some more fun shots. It's funny because, you know, thousands of people are watching it later on YouTube, but when you're standing there, it's just a camera guy and a sound guy and whoever you're playing the matches with. Yeah. So it's not a lot of people, so you can kind of show your real personality and have fun with it. It's different. I respect the hell out of those guys. Those guys work really hard. See what they do behind the scenes, the editors, the film crew, you always have to be on in a YouTube video. You can't just put out a kind of a, for lack of a better term, a half-assed video, or you can't. You have to be fully in it. So, a lot of respect to those guys coming up with new ideas all the time. It's a tough gig. Might seem glamorous, but it's a tough gig. So, but it's super fun. Hopefully, I can do more of those.
On Tuesday, we saw Viktor Hovland testing out a Ping PLD Oslo onset putter after using his Ping PLD DS72 mallet throughout his whole career. According to Ping, Hovland tried out a number of different putter options last week while at home in Oklahoma, and he's taken a liking to this new head design, which features an aluminum face insert and sits more flush to the turf at address. Center-shafted putters continue their charge on the PGA Tour. Case in point, check out this Logan Olson center-shafted prototype made special for Hideki Matsuyama. On Tuesday, we also spotted Hideki using a center-shafted Scottie Cameron. which legendary photographer Greg Moore got photos of in the GolfWRX forums. In other putter news, Adam Scott has switched to a Lab Golf Oz 1 blue prototype broomstick, which we first spotted at the AT&T Pebble Beach Pro-Am. Scott helped co-design the new head shape, so it's no surprise to see him make the switch. Last week, Daniel Berger finished T2 at the 2025 Waste Management Phoenix Open, and this week, we caught up with him to get the story about why he switched out of his 13-year-old TaylorMade Tour Preferred MC 2011 irons and into the new Ping Blueprint S irons.
I made it a point last year, at the end of the year, that I wanted to test clubs for the first time in a long time.
Yeah.
So my coach came down and got sent a bunch of different irons, and everything was pretty similar from pitching wedge to 7-iron in the 5 different sets that I tried. And then once I got to 654, the pings tested the best, peak height, consistent spin. And so I put them in the bag and tried to keep them in the bag for at least a month, to really give them a chance, because sometimes you put a set in, you hit a couple bad shots, and you want to go back to your old set. So I just made it a point to really stick with them, and I love them, so I'm going to be in the bag for a while.
When did that testing go down, and was it tough to let the other ones go?
It wasn't that tough to let the other ones go once I saw how much better the Ping irons were. It was like my peak height on a 4-iron with my TaylorMade irons was like 90 feet, which is like nothing. I mean, you get no stopping power into a par 5 or a long par 3, and then when I tested the Pings, it was like 125 feet. So, I mean, just a massive difference in ability to stop a ball on a par 4 that's long or a par 5 that's long. So, really, it was a pretty easy decision.
If you're a fan of older equipment, you'll love this one. Smooth swinging Jake Knapp brought out an old TaylorMade M5 driver from 2019. Hey Jake, how did the M5 driver end up in the bag?
Just went back and dug through the archives, some old drivers I drove it well with, so gonna give it a roll this week.
I love it. Love seeing the old stuff.
Oh,
Any
yeah.
other changes in the bag?
No, all the same.
We watched along as Justin Thomas was doing drills to help with his line control, and as Rory McIlroy conducted his clock putting drill. We then picked up some of the best footage of Rory McIlroy's irons, wedges, and putter in existence. In other news, we also checked out this awesome Scotty Cameron Martini prototype. And we checked out the Torrey Pines merch selection in the pro shop. Although the rain came in on Wednesday, we got a surprise appearance from actor Michael Pena. And from LPGA star Lydia Ko. Of course, we had to check out what clubs she had in the bag, including her always colorful grips and club stampings. What's your nickname for Tuesdays?
22 Club Tuesday, because the caddies, when I asked to shoot the bag on Tuesdays, I go, there's a lot of extra clubs in there. And then I say, well, 22 Club Tuesday. And the record's 50.
Who has the record?
GolfWRX's favorite, Patrick Reed.
And with that, unfortunately, we say goodbye to Torrey Pines yet again. We'll see you at the 2025 Cognizant Classic in the Palm Beaches in Florida for more gear news.